Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. Who's the face of women's boxing? Is it Claressa? Because of the numbers she's putting up? Because of the money she's making? Because she can go and sell out 18,000, which is what we're being told. I can't verify that. I can only trust what I'm being told. 17 to 18, that's what I'm hearing. So let's just say 17.5. And she's basically doing it herself. Now, is she at home doing it? Yeah. Does it matter? No. Because the bottom line is, she's doing it. Now, when it comes to Alycia Baumgardner, seems like she's on her way to possibly making $1.5, $2 million paydays. Okay, so I've done some research, but there was an interesting call yesterday, and I figured, hey, I might as well play it. So this video today is gonna probably be a little bit longer than normal because I'm gonna play that call that came in yesterday during the live, because that person, they weren't just a normal fan. We have a lot of people in here that's got the secret squirrel shit going on, incognito, who know a whole lot about a whole lot. They won't say who they are, but they know a whole lot about a whole lot. They be calling into the show, and that's inside the chat. So that being said, let's play the call, and then I'm gonna talk about some things. I did a little bit of research, got my Charlie Chat GPT shit going on. Again, it's for conversation. I'm not saying I got information from anyone that gave me accurate numbers. Nope, not what happened. I just came out here and put together a conversation for y'all based on a little bit of analysis I was able to do. But again, all you can do is trust the data you're getting. Can't verify it. So take it easy, Bob Marley. I didn't shoot the sheriff. Now, let's listen to this. Go ahead, caller.
Hello.
Hey, how you doing?
All right, we live?
Live like always, man. Glad to hear from you. What you got?
I wasn't sure. It sounded like he was in the car.
Okay.
I mean, you're saying Claressa the face of boxing. We don't get to determine who's the face of boxing. The endorsers get to determine who's the face of boxing.
You don't think Claressa is the face of women's boxing right now?
It's not about what we think. It's about what the endorsers think.
Now, right here, I'm not going to keep interrupting the video. I just want to throw this out here. She's saying the endorsements determine who's the face of boxing. Floyd Mayweather didn't have all that. He was the face of boxing. I thought it was about numbers. That's what I thought it was about. Who's selling the most, who's making the most money. Now, if you have all these endorsers, and as a result, you're making a lot of money, cool. But how many people are coming to see you fight? So that's the argument. The face of boxing, is it based on who gets the most endorsements or who's actually putting butts in seats?
The endorsers is the one who gets to make the face of boxing. We don't. She's just the YouTube face of boxing because she's the only one on YouTube checking out. Or on Instagram or on Facebook. That's what we know. She's the hood boxer.
Okay, so.
She's not the face of boxing.
Okay, well, it's like I said, multiple faces, but she's.
Because that's what they're doing right now. And trust and believe, MVP is definitely in on it. That's why all their girls are moving a certain way. You know how they had their promotion day, their media day. They all came out a certain way. This is what they're doing. They're getting set up so they can choose somebody because this is the route that is going. Just like with women, with rap. Women are taking over. The women are going to be taking over. So they're going to figure out who that's going to be, but I guarantee you, the way Claressa put herself out here, she will not be the face of boxing. Do you know how many people who were rappers before they were professional athletes or actually were already signed up with endorsed deals that tried to rap? Shaquille O'Neal, Kobe Bryant. I mean, what do you mean? What does her rap career got to do with her professional career?
Nobody said it had anything to do with it.
Okay, it was a question.
Yeah, I mean, but I'm trying to understand. I'm trying to understand the point you're trying to make.
Kobe matter. We remember Kobe from playing basketball.
Right, but Claressa hasn't really. Now, first, let me just say this: but Claressa, she's just not doing music. She hasn't released an album. She hasn't really done much of anything. She seemed to be playing with it, so we don't know what direction it could go. She got a whole bunch of Gwodies that support her.
She don't know what direction it's gonna go. She's just wasting her time and money. Ain't nobody interested in hearing what she got to say about that. We've heard her tell us that story over and over and over again. She grew up poor. Everybody grew up poor. When it comes to that type of activity, you know what I'm saying? We could just tell by the way she moves around, how she presents herself, that she didn't come from anything. She ain't got to tell us through her rap song. She's telling us how she acts on her day-to-day routine, that she didn't come from anything. So for her to get on the record and tell us that don't mean nothing to her.
Let me ask you this: when you say growing up poor, you tell by the way she acts, she didn't come from anything. I know you didn't mean it that way, because a lot of us grew up out here getting that government cheese and that powdered milk. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us grew up with that, with them nice, as a kid, thought it was cool to see that colorful money, which was food stamps. But a lot of us grew up with values and don't conduct ourselves in that way. So I know what you're saying. I know what you mean. You're not saying everybody who comes from humble beginnings acts like her. Nah, that's not at all what you're saying. I know what you mean.
Well, we'll see who the face of boxing is coming up soon, because that's what.
Who you think is heading that direction? Who you think is heading that direction to be the face of women's boxing?
I'm gonna go with who the last face of boxing was.
Layla Ali?
I'm gonna go with Alycia Baumgardner. Yeah.
You think Alycia Baumgardner?
This dude gave her the nod. He gave Alycia the nod. So when you pass the torch, usually you go and you talk about the person who's going to be next. So of course she tried to make it seem like she really wasn't, but that's what she did. So I'm going to go with Alycia. Absolutely. She's fighting the Asian. We're going to see. She's on Madison Square Garden. She's from Ohio. She's right around the corner from Claressa, to be honest with you. She's fighting out of her comfort zone. She's not from New York. So, I mean, to get on that type of stage and to perform, she's definitely going to be, you're going to see. That's why these girls are keeping their mouth shut and they're moving a certain way. They're not going around and they're not promoting their relationships. This is not love and hip hop. This is sport, and we need to be taking this thing serious. I don't think Claressa take her sport that serious.
Let me ask you.
Talking about making anthems about being a side girl to a married man. Layla Ali is making children books about her legacy. We got to quit endorsing Claressa to be the hood champion boxer when she's not. She has not done anything but play in our faces. She gonna lie, say she don't drink alcohol, she don't smoke. When she got on live a week ago after she got, put out there by 50 Cent, oh, I was smoking hookah, I was drinking my drink. She was drinking on live and smoking and had a hookah. I mean, we got to stop. We got to hold her to her accountability. We have to hold her accountable for what she's saying and doing in front of these young girls. We have enough of that negativity that we don't need that in boxing.
Let me ask you a question, because this is all your opinion. I let people talk. Doesn't mean I agree with you. Doesn't mean I disagree with you. Okay? And that's what I do on my channel. I respect everybody's opinion. I don't try to say you're wrong or right. But I do.
You don't have to agree with me. I'm looking at your channel. I didn't agree with me.
No, let me finish what I'm saying now. Let me finish what I'm saying. I didn't cut you off. Don't cut me off. I didn't cut you off. I would never cut you off. So let me just say. Yeah, but hold on. I let you cook. I just got a question for you. I'm tracking with everything that you're saying. So what do you think about it? Because this is something that came up. I threw it out there when Alycia Baumgardner went to the Cardi B concert and the thong and everything, and I was like, hey, what y'all think about this? And some people said, hey, she's athletic, she looks like a fitness model, she's just out there being classy and professional, no big deal. Other people are like, nah, if she's doing that, what message does that send to young girls? So let me ask you, what's your opinion on that?
My opinion, first of all, I didn't see it, so I would have to go view. I would have to do my research on that actually, see which actions she did have on and how she did present herself at that concert. I would like to see that. But like I said, what we know about Alycia is her. If I ask anybody, like just anybody don't even know anything about boxing, right? And we'll say Alycia. Only thing they'll probably come up with if they actually Google it, it's going to probably come up about her being an antagonist with Claressa, okay? Or it will come to their mind about her going back and forth with Claressa. When we Google Claressa, or we Google in our minds, or what we know about Claressa is about her negativity. So regardless if she's a boxer, you can say about her, what have you done lately? We can keep talking about them gold medals. We keep talking about you did this. You fought your friend. You humiliated her on live, okay? You hoodwinked her. You didn't even let her know what you really had going on. That was due, okay? You telling me what we supposed to remember? The kids ain't. I mean, you gotta remember the intellect of certain people is how many seconds now? How many weeks do people actually remember things now? Me and you are probably OGs, right? But the younger generation, they take in so much information because of this internet and everything. Their mindset only goes so far when it comes to that. And what they know lately, or what they know right now, is Claressa out here acting the fool. Period. They don't know anything about that. Those medals and all that stuff she keep bringing up. You got to remember, we're talking about the people, the young people, not our generation.
Do you follow this is your first time watching my live?
Why do you say that?
I'm just asking. I'm asking. Rhetorical question.
No, I'm not. Yeah, no, it's not.
Okay.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is, we have to think of it in that aspect. And what she needs to be doing, she's not doing. Now, like I said, everybody, we were happy for Claressa until we didn't know who she was. Now she showed us who we are, and we can't forget it. And she doesn't have a publicist. She refused to put down those negative actions that she carries on every day. Continues on with this relationship. So this is what we get, and this is what we have to analyze it for as it is today. Because if somebody came today and said, I got a check for a big time boxer, woman boxer, who is they going to choose? They're not going to choose Claressa.
I agree with that. I've said that. If you follow the channel, you know the things I've said. 100%.
I don't watch like that, but I mean, I'm on here and I'm doing my work, and so you happen to come up and I'm looking. I'm like, okay, first I was about to click off, so you start talking that, we're going to keep it real. And I was like, let me click back on here because I got something I got to say to him. Because we're not going to do this. We're going to get these girls. Everybody has a chance right now to become the face of boxing. And it's another girl, like I said, that come out of Ohio as well, that's not too far up the street from Alycia, that she been quiet. She got in a little trouble early on in her career. I'm not going to say her name, like I said, online, because I'm going to allow her to do her and to see what happens. But she's on MVP. She's from Ohio. She is moving totally different. Totally different. It could be her. Because she done been to the Olympics. And she placed. Do your research. She played.
I was looking at her profile on Instagram today.
You said what now?
I was looking at a couple of profiles on Instagram today, and I saw that one from Ohio. But I ain't gonna get into all that. I don't talk. I can only, let me tell you something. I got a laundry list of names of videos I want to do on them to introduce them to the world, because a lot of people, they don't know who you're talking about. They don't know a lot of these names.
I know her people personally.
Yeah, well, I can tell by how passionate you're speaking that you know a little bit more than the average Joe.
Yeah. So let me just say this: the girl did, like I said, she has cleaned up her. She was young and she had a little piss going on, but she cleaned it all the way up, and you do not hear a peep out of her. She lives out of the area. She does not live in the Midwest anymore. She lives out west. She's taking care of her business, and she's moving totally different. These girls are under Jake Paul. Jake Paul, you have to give him his props. He's a YouTuber that became a professional, whatever you want to call him. I don't know if you call him professional. What would you call him? Because I don't want to speak, wrong about that. What would you call Jake Paul?
He's a promoter.
Okay, well, there we go. A promoter, because I know he's boxing. So, yeah. A promoter. He is definitely going in the right direction. The same reasons that he said he got into boxing should be the same reason Claressa should be doing the things she needs to be doing to move differently. He said he was going in the wrong direction. He was doing this, that, and the third, and he had to change his life around, and he chose boxing. Okay? And he is moving in that direction. Claressa is supposed to have chose boxing so she can get out of her past to get away from her. She has not put down her past. She has not done it.
Yeah, let me ask you a question.
She put it in our face and make us eat it, and we're not eating it. Period.
Right. So
we're not eating it.
Right. No, I'm listening to you. So you said face of boxing is endorsement deals, right? Floyd Mayweather didn't have any endorsement deals, but he was the face of boxing because of the numbers he put up. Claressa's out there, sounds like she's selling out 17,000, 18,000 in Detroit. These other women aren't doing that. So you don't think numbers matter? Why are you harping on endorsement so much?
Because that's that's how you get to the top. Period. This is how you get to the top. You have to be endorsed. Who want to put their own money up? That's like an investment. Let's go back to let's go to investors, people who are wealthy. They don't put their own money up. Most people, they get their credit right, and they use other people's money to do what they need to do, right? So she out here using her own money, basically. That's why she keep playing it safe and fighting in Detroit. It's easy for her to keep coming because she don't sell no tickets. It doesn't matter. She has 3 casinos who's going to back her up. That's marketing. I'm marketing. I do marketing.
But you know this for a fact what you're saying, or this is just your opinion?
If a company hired me to find somebody to be the face of boxing, it would be Claressa.
Right, but what you're saying right now.
We can't feed this to the world. We can only feed this to the hood. We can only feed Claressa to the hood. Ain't nobody else going for this.
No.
So when you do money, you don't just go after one race. You don't go after your friends and family. You go after everybody's money.
Right, you got to be marketable, you got to be likable, and there needs to be some kind of predictability. But with the stuff you're saying, is this just opinion, or or is it something factual, or this is just an educated observation?
No, I'm just saying, you got to realize I marketed for a large company, so if I had an opportunity and they called me in and needed me to help them find a face of boxing based on her being an investor, I would not be able to choose Claressa based on her actions. Okay?
Okay, yeah, all right, no, I'm tracking with you.
So therefore, it's my job against my money against her money, and I'm trying to keep my job. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to find somebody who I can write the check out to, and it would not be Claressa.
Right. What I say on my channel, I talk a lot of. Yeah. No, I mean, look, I had an expanded career. I've been retired for almost 9 years. I never worked after that, but so I'm tracking. But I've always talked about on my channel the capacities that I was in, especially with team building and organizational dynamics. Attitude was everything. And you could have someone who's very effective at what they do, like Claressa, but if the attitude isn't favorable, their short-term success will be some short-term success, and people eventually don't want to deal with you. But you have someone who's effective, maybe not as effective, but they have the right attitude, they're willing to get behind it. And so we were talking about that on here. Claressa, the attitude, all the drama surrounding her, those are the things that's going to, in our opinion, prevent her from achieving those things like what you were talking about, the big-time endorsement deals, and no kidding, becoming the true face of women's boxing. Now, but again, if Alycia can start doing those numbers and stuff on her own without the big undercards to support her, and she has the attitude, and she has hooks and looks, like she says, she could, and I do think that, I said, we've talked about this on the channel, that seems to be the person that the system's getting behind to push her to become the face of women's boxing right now. So I agree with a lot of what you're saying. I'm tracking it, and the other stuff, I'm just listening to you, but I understand. I see it a little bit differently. But at the same time, there's some consistencies with our observations.
What record is that would want to sign Claressa on a big deal?
Well, I'll say this.
Nobody wants to sign. Nobody. She is using her own money. It's not why you call yourself in business to use your own money.
But how do you know she's using her own money? What makes you think she's using her own money?
April 17th, you're going to see, it's going to change everything after April 17th.
April 17th? Oh, you're talking about with Baumgardner and them in the fight?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you got Shadesha on the undercard, right?
Yeah, Shadesha's a co-main. Yeah.
You're going to see that boxing is going to be on one of the biggest stages, New York City. Okay, you have to go there. You also have to go in classification. New York, LA, 1, 2, 3. This is how it goes. Chicago third. It's the biggest platform. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have to go on order. She is in there in New York.
Oh, yeah, the stage is being set for her to hit a home run.
Okay, exactly. After April 17th, we're going to see. And they're going to leave her behind. She's going to be left behind. Okay? Like I said, if anybody, like I said, this is how you know that Seuss and all of them are a fraud, because if anybody has put their money, if you had some money, you had to put it behind somebody. Would you be making phone calls like, Claressa, what are you doing? I didn't put my money down. Okay, I invested in you. What are you out here doing?
I hear you.
If she would have to get rid of Papoose if she really want her career to go to right, because it's not marketable. They're not marketing that type of behavior. Like I said, Cardi B's and all them, that's the rap game, okay? You see where that's going on. You know, having these babies out of, with married, that, people, yeah. You can have, yeah, but like I said, she's in sports. She's in boxing.
Are you pulling a correlation between Cardi B having a child while married and Claressa talking about having a child with him?
You can do that. You can, obviously, you can do, we've been doing that for years. Look at Lil' Kim. You know what I'm saying? When she was with Biggie, he had a whole lot. We accepted Kim a long time ago. This ain't nothing new. They accept that in the rap game. Actually, for the young girl, they don't remember that type of stuff. Like I said, the 30-year-old, Claressa's 30. But when me and you are OGs, we know they've been doing the mistress thing back then, and we accepted them, right?
Yeah, I'm tracking with you. I remember all that shit.
So that's nothing new under the sun when it comes to that. Now, like I said, what's new on the horizon is the face of boxing for women, because the women are trailblazing at this point. Because the men, what do we got? We got,
as far as what, men boxing?
Mayweather coming back out and fighting. He retired 10 times.
Yeah.
He's done with that. They're going with the women. So with that being said, at the end of the day, we're waiting on the face of boxing. I'm going to go ahead and on a whim and say, if, like I said, Alycia might get it, but you need to watch old girl from Ohio. The other girl that's around the corner from there, they had to be up the street from each other, to be honest with you, because I think where Alycia is from, it can't be that many miles from where that other girl is from.
Mm-hmm.
But the other girl's daddy is a boxer. Her dad owns the gym. So the one girl I was telling you about out of Ohio, the one who went to the Olympics, that place, her dad is a boxer. So we'll see how this goes, okay? I just wanted to call back in and say something in regards to, it's gonna definitely change. April 17th, we're gonna see, and we're gonna find out who the face of boxing is. We're gonna see what Claressa, she keep going in the booth, okay? She's not Remy Ma. I don't know who's trying to sign up to be second best. You know, there's no crown for the runner-up, okay? You don't get a crown when you're runner-up. So everything that Claressa's doing is so she can be runner-up.
Okay.
She's not trying to be first place in anything. She's not trying to be first place in boxing. She's not trying to be first place in her relationship. And she definitely ain't trying to be first place in rap. Just let it all go.
Okay. All right. Well, I appreciate you calling in. All right.
All right.
All right. Yep. Bye.
Call from Truth Serum A1.
Now, after listening to that call, that caller went off, didn't she? She said a whole lot. And I'm going to tell you right now, she was somebody close to the source. The secret society has infiltrated Hood Champion's comment section during the live. Boy, oh boy, if these people would just say who they were and stop hiding in the dark, in the shadows, behind these profiles. Just come on out and say who you are, because we know you've got some information. Now, as far as Claressa Shields, there's no confirmed official sellout announcement for the event at Little Caesars Arena. The fight took place in Detroit. That helps attendance because she's from Flint. But there are no verified reports of a full sellout or record gate. But it does sound like it's between 17 and 18,000. I'm just going to shoot 17.5, right? But one thing for sure when it comes to Claressa Shields, she has strong local support. But we can't consider it a mega event sellout like Top Men's pay-per-views. But she gets strong local support. And those are the facts. Now, as far as her fight purse breakdown, all we know is that she says she signed an $8 million 4-fight deal with Salida Promotions and Win Records. And that deal is spread across 4 fights, so $2 million apiece. And she can do all 4 fights in 1 year, or she can spread it out over 2 years. Okay? Now, as far as when she fought Franchon, I'm thinking she had to make $2 million because that's what she said. It's hard for me to say she didn't make that, but it's also hard for me to say she did make that because even I'm out here not really sure how just out of the air the deal came about, and she's now the highest paid female boxer. But what I would say is, when I'm looking at these numbers, and just, again, this is just rough estimates, when you think about the price per ticket and the amount of people who show up there to the event, that estimated fight purse, I think is more like 1 million to 2 million range, because she's a headliner. This was the second fight under the new deal. And Claressa is a big draw when it comes to women's boxing. Is she the biggest draw? It's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to say who's the biggest draw, because Claressa's out here as the main event and doing her own thing. She really doesn't have much support on her undercard. The other ladies, the cards are stacked. So, that drives for a conversation in a video in itself. You know what I mean? But I'm not going to get into all that. But what I do want to highlight is Claressa is basically a one-man show. And then what's going on with these other women is not just one-man shows. Let me say one-women shows, right? Because some people are like, well, man, you say man. I say man because I'm coming from a West Indian fucking background. That's why I say it. But the Franchon Cruz payday. Look, I keep doing my research and stuff. I keep finding out. Franchon made more than 10,000, 17,000, 70,000. It's like a 200,000 to 500,000 range. Now, these are just estimates based off the industry, but official purses weren't publicly disclosed to me or anyone else. You know what I'm saying? But you just can't make me believe Franchon made less than 200,000. I just don't believe that. 250. I'm thinking she right there around 250, 300, something like that. Now, as far as Claressa Shields' gate revenue, ticket sales, listen, there's nothing that's been released. No official gate release. So you figure if it's 17.5 thousand fans, that can get you up there. That can get you up there to close to $1 million. You know what I'm saying? So it's interesting. I figured that the ticket prices, I don't know what the ticket prices were, but let's just say if they did, let's just do it this way. The tickets, they're saying that they sold let's just say 17.5 thousand people in attendance. So let's just say if it's that many people, that's a lot. But others are saying it wasn't that much. So just for fun, let's say attendance was 8,000 to 13,000 people. Tickets were $50 to $150. Then the estimated gate is about 500,000 to 1.2 million. Okay? That's saying the attendance is between 8,000 and 13,000 people. Ticket price $50 to $150. The estimated gate is $500K to $1.2 million. So if you had 17,000, well, those numbers are definitely going to go up big time. So Claressa could be pushing more to like a 1.5, 1.8 $1 million gate. That's a lot of money. Now the broadcast revenue. The fight aired on DAZN. DAZN is a subscription model, right? It's not pay-per-view. So what that means is there's not going to be a bunch of back-end money coming off of a pay-per-view buys because that's not what they did. The revenue will come from licensing fees, the subscriber retention, and platform deal. So when you look at this, based on all this shit, and y'all can chat GPT this shit. The estimated event value for the zone is like 1 million to 3 million of equivalent value. So there's no direct. It's not a direct payout. It's just platform economics. Now, where it gets a little bit interesting here is this is where things start to add up for Claressa: sponsorship, promotion money, revenue sources, sponsorship logos, ring, shorts, corners. Right? The people pay to have their logos and the ring and shorts in the corners. Then the local Detroit partnerships, some money that comes from that, and any brand deals tied to Shields. I don't know what brand deals are tied to her. But the bottom line is we talk about sponsorship plus promotion money. That's like another 250 to 750K. Then additional revenue streams, site fee / promotional backing. You know, you're talking about another 500K to 1 million. That's the promoter Salida and partners likely injecting funding, helps cover the fight purses. And then merchandise, you know, I don't know if she's doing what she's doing with merchandise. I didn't see anything being sold. I wasn't there. I'm not aware of anything being sold. But merchandising could bring in some more money. And then international rights. I mean, this is really small, but it's present. That could be another 100K or more. So when you talk about total event revenue, trying to come up with a realistic range, and we're looking at gate, broadcast value, sponsorship, site fees, merchandise, international rights, the total event value could be 2.4 million to 6.4 million. You know what I'm saying? So say right there in the middle somewhere, you're probably getting closer to like maybe 4 million and the total event value. But remember, the reality check, context matters. Let's be real. This is where the narrative can get a little bit crazy. This was not a mega pay-per-view. This wasn't a $20 million plus event. It wasn't a global blockbuster. All right? That's what it was not. But it was one of the highest funded women's boxing events. That is a fact. And backed by this $8 million deal, which, again, that's what they say. Gotta trust it. I can't verify it, but that's what they say. She's a mainstream DAZN headliner, and when it comes to fighting in Detroit, she's a hometown showcase. All right? So those are some facts. But the bottom line is, for those who are saying, oh, she didn't sell out, she didn't sell out in a traditional mega event sense. That's true. It's true. She's not Floyd Mayweather. She's not Canelo, right? But who is Floyd Mayweather Canelo? So I'll say, no, she didn't sell out in the traditional sense, but she didn't flop either. You know what I'm saying? I think what happened there with Claressa is more of a mid-level revenue boxing event with strong promotional backing. And I just think it's driven more by like the network investment, long-term deal money, and brand building, more than just pure ticket or pay-per-view sales, because the pay-per-view had nothing to do with it. So the bottom line is the event wasn't a flop, folks. And they're probably making decent money. Like, that's just being real, and that's why they're going to keep it in Detroit. You get outside of Detroit, you lose control. Now you're trying to anticipate what kind of fan support she'll get and if people will come out like they do in Detroit. You got to understand, she's from Michigan. So they see her as one of their own. And they're going to come out and support her. But I'll tell you this, the sport itself is building this revenue ceiling. And right now it looks like the sky is the ceiling for women's boxing. They keep doing things correctly. So Shields, is she the face of women's boxing financially? I mean, it's kind of makes a case for it, but there are other people going to say no because they're not looking at the numbers. They're looking at the attitude, the relationship, the drama. They're looking at those things. So when it comes to Alycia Baumgardner, she's going to be fighting April 17th against Bomi Shin. You got to understand what's going on here. Alycia Baumgardner I think she's half Korean. So she's fighting a Korean fighter. So what they're trying to do is capture that Korean fan base, that Korean audience, that Asian fan base, that Asian audience. Almost get her put out there kind of like Manny Pacquiao. All Asians love Manny Pacquiao. Now for Alycia Baumgardner, I don't know if she speaks Korean. I don't know if she can write in Hangul and all that shit. I don't know. But if she does, they're gonna tap into a new audience. But she gotta come out and start talking. She gotta come out there with the Yobo Seo, Anya Seo, Sugo Haseo and all that shit. She gotta come out there with all that, man. Silly Hamnida, all them little shits I remember from living in Korea for 3 years. She gotta come out there and start to speak her language, man. But as far as her fight purse, look, there's no official fight purse. Nothing's been publicly disclosed for this specific fight. I wish the fly on the wall could talk people. That way we can get more information, you know what I'm saying? Somebody leak or just reveal the numbers, you know what I'm saying, before the fight or after the fight. Give us something. But realistically, when you talk about Alycia Baumgardner, the kind of money she's going to be making and I mean, she gave up one belt to fight 3-minute rounds, but she's still seen as an undisputed champion, right? I'm thinking probably a guarantee like 500,000, That's just what I'm thinking. Her and her and the Korean fighter, I don't want to keep trying to say that name and shit. The bottom line is it's probably be a 70-30% split. So Baumgardner could end up, 300 to 500K, and then Shin could be getting 100 to 200K. But it could be a lot higher than that because this is the main event of the most valuable promotions. It has ESPN platform exposure, and what that means is a bigger money upside. So you got to understand how they're marketing her. A lot of people are saying, why is she fighting this girl? Dubois just fought her. This is dumb. She's fighting Dubois' leftovers. Well, you got to understand it's being marketed as Baumgardner's Korean crossover moment. You know what I'm saying? I believe she's half Korean. But just understand this, MVP. This is Baumgardner's first MVP headline slot. Like this is it right here. Like the first real, she's got to hit a grand slam. They are setting her up to hit a home run. So I think she'll likely get a pay bump compared to past fights in this one. But again, there's no confirmed official purses. Nothing's been released. And I don't think they will release anything. But I think that we gotta understand for Baumgardner, probably gonna be some guaranteed money out there for her and some guaranteed money for the challenger. But Baumgardner has that undisputed level name recognition. She's headlining, strong U.S. marketability, got the crossover appeal. That split is going to be probably like a 70-30, 75-25. Now, I think it's interesting to understand that broadcast money, that ESPN/platform fee. That ESPN deal has probably been a blessing for Jake Paul and MVP. And this is where a big chunk of money comes from, you know what I'm saying? Networks like ESPN pay a rights fee to air the card. That money helps cover fight purses, production, and promotions. So the estimated events rights fee is like 1.5 million to 3 million. So this is just an estimate. Okay, so don't come trying to shoot the sheriff there, Bob Marley. But that's a total card budget. So if you figure they got a $3 million total card budget, damn. Out of that, main event fighters often take 40 to 60% combined. So that's why Baumgardner can easily hit that $500,000 range like we were talking about. Then you got the ticket sales, which is gate revenue. Now, the thing that came up during the live yesterday is that Baumgardner, she's fighting in the theater. 5,000 seats, something like that. Now, I thought it was going to be in the ballroom. I thought it was going to be in where there's going to be more seating. So, but that's not the case. But the bottom line, you figure the average ticket sales, you know, who knows what all they're going to sell. But if you get 75 to 250 and you sell out, now you're talking about possibly, you know, a $1 million gate. And the promoters will take the majority of that. Fighters will probably get a small percentage. Or they'll get some bonuses if they sell well, you know. And I think Baumgardner, she probably has back-end incentives tied to ticket sales as the main event fighter. And just like with any event, you're talking about sponsorships, you're talking about branding, and this is that underrated money. Now, for Baumgardner, I don't know what endorsement she has, what sponsors are behind her. I don't know. But if she has something on there from a social media deal, apparel brands, glove sponsors, people want to put logos on her shorts, you know, I don't know that. I wish we had more information on that, but it's just not out there. But you could be talking about another, you know, 50,000 to 200,000 more. You know what I'm saying? And then as far as this event, it's not pay-per-view, so there's not going to be any upside there. But there could be a performance bonus or some kind of viewership incentives, you know. But I think the real play here with Baumgardner is them really trying to set her up to really become the face of women's boxing, crossover star, international appeal, and they're looking to market her with the whole hooks and looks. Listen to the stuff they're saying. You know, they're really posturing her to go on and do something big after this fight. And I think they have a great team over there. I think they know how to build stars, build their profiles and platforms, and eventually, you know, build up the type of fight purses where they're making $1-2 million a fight. And then MVP, of course, long term, they're looking at recouping their investment, which, if they do this right, the investment would have been probably one of the smartest investments in boxing, because the women are blowing up for real. Like the world trade, born sinner, opposite of a winner. You know what I'm saying? But the bottom line for Baumgardner, for this fight, when you just break everything down, her total estimated earnings, now I don't know this, but I'm thinking it's like 350 to 600,000. I don't think it's more than 700,000. But that's still a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? But then when you include the sponsorships and the bonus, she could be close to 800 G's. Like 500 to 800,000 for this fight. That's not bad money. And see, these are things that I'm sure they could come out and talk about and prove. I wonder if Claressa and her team could come out there and prove that Claressa's making $2 million a fight. Very, very interesting, man. But I tell you what, Baumgardner, she's not just getting paid to fight. Baumgardner is being positioned as a global star asset. Pay attention. This is a market expansion play. a brand building investment. It's exactly what they're doing with Alycia Baumgardner. You know what I'm saying? And as far as who's the top earners, let's keep this clear. Katie Taylor, man, she making like $3 million a fight. She about to make $3 million, I think, in her last fight. But she fluctuates guaranteed fight purses like $1 to $3 million a fight, and she's made way more than $3 million in one fight. You know what I'm saying? But she got that massive Ireland and UK backing. She's a proven ticket seller and a pay-per-view draw. I think Katie Taylor's the Canelo of women's boxing financially. Then you got Claressa Shields doing the business. You know, gets paid for dominance, legacy, leverage. She's doing the business. You got Amanda Serrano, again, commercial star action fighter combo. She's making good money, $1 million fighter. And Baumgardner's on her way, almost there. She's almost there to being a $1 million fighter. So people saying that Baumgardner is not, she's the face of women's boxing. Others saying Claressa's the face. Then you have those saying neither one of them are the face of women's boxing. It's all opinion, but I'll tell you this. For Baumgardner has an undisputed status. Claressa has that. Baumgardner has knockout power. Claressa doesn't. Baumgardner has personality. Claressa does too. But one is marketable to everyone. The other one's marketable to a certain demographic. And then Baumgardner has MVP backing. Claressa Shields has Demetrius Salita and Win Records. But the one thing is Claressa, she's had defining fights. She's had a lot of defining fights. Baumgardner hasn't really had that mega fight, that defining fight like Taylor Serrano. She hasn't proved that she's a massive ticket seller, and she doesn't have the consistent mainstream exposure, but it's coming. So boxing pays you for what you generate, not just what you accomplish, and that's why Claressa Shields keeps fighting in Detroit. Her and her team are making money because of what she generates in Detroit. And why would they want to risk taking her out of there and have her fight somewhere else? Where I think she would do just fine, like in Atlanta, DC, New York. That's just my opinion. I think she would do just fine. But we'll see what the future holds for all these women. I do think, man, when it comes to Baumgardner, man, she's got to hit a home run. She has got to hit a home run, man. It's not even about looking dominant. She got to hit a home run. That's like the next level blueprint for Baumgardner. Look dominant. Get yourself some international fans. Build that storyline. If she can do that, I'm telling you, man, she's gonna get the Serrano fight anyway. But when she fights Serrano, especially if she knocks this chick out, that shit is going to be so much hype behind Baumgardner and Serrano. You're talking about $1 million payday easy for Baumgardner, and Serrano's going to make what she makes. You know what I'm saying? You're talking about career high fight purses. Baumgardner for sure is going to clear $1 million easy, probably way more. That would be considered a super fight, Baumgardner and Serrano. And I know people say, nah, we don't want to see that. We want to see Baumgardner in the bar. I understand. Trust me, I understand. But I'm going to say this, Baumgardner's being invested in. She's not fully cashed out yet. You know what I'm saying? Slightly lower pay right now, much bigger upside later. And I think that's what MVP is focusing on. We're gonna make our money off of her. We're going to get her paid. We're going to get this company paid. Right now, we're going to keep investing in her, building her up, because the big paydays are coming. It looks like they're trying to do that with all their fighters. Get them all to be the type of women who can generate millions and millions of dollars for their events, to where they all can make $1 million purses, and that the company makes multiples of $1 million as well. So she's one big fight away from doubling her income, folks. And if done right, shit, she may be able to surpass Claressa Shields, but I don't know. Superstar potential, still kind of getting paid like a prospect. But she fights like a superstar, and the fight purses just keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. It's just a matter of time. All she gotta do is keep doing the business. And them $1, $2, $3 million, $5 million, $10 million paydays are gonna be right there for her. Anyway, y'all keep cool. The GOAT versus Bomb. Face of women's boxing is who? Everybody has an opinion. You know, they look at different things. But if you ask me, who's the face of women's boxing? Oh, I got an answer for you. La 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 la. Pretty damn simple, isn't it? But hopefully these ladies can go on and make some real dough, and we can start getting more back and forth between them, because that shit makes it makes women's boxing exciting and interesting. Anyway, y'all keep cool. I'm in a breeze.